Hello and welcome to my video grammar lesson. My name is Jessica Matthey and this lesson is for EESL 660. So this lesson is based on conditional sentences and adverb clauses of condition. So the target teaching level is intermediate. And the learning objectives, there are two. The first one is I will be able to distinguish the differences between real and unreal adverb conditional clauses used to form conditional sentences. And the second is I will be able to form conditional sentences using adverb clauses of condition for both real and unreal conditions. So getting started with adverb clauses of condition, conditional sentences. There are two different types. There are real or true conditions, and there are the unreal, contrary to fact conditions. So the real or true conditions are conditions that can be fulfilled. They're real, they're true. Starting with inference, inference is the if-then type of situation. And we'll look at examples of all of these in a bit. The habitude expresses conditions or that have results that occur repeatedly. Okay? And then we have future conditions, which express plans or probable events in the future, and generic conditions, which are facts that are considered to be scientific truths. So all of these conditions are real, they're true, and they can be fulfilled. Now the unreal or contrary to fact conditions include the hypothetical, which express speculations about present or the future, and counterfactual, which express speculations about past events that did not occur or impossible situations in the present. And the important thing to understand is that the unreal or contrary to fact conditions, they're imagined, they're unreal. They didn't happen and they cannot be fulfilled. Okay? And overall, all of these conditions almost always start with the word if, which introduces the adverb dependent clauses of the condition. Dependent clauses meaning subordinate clauses. Although sometimes they can become independent clauses, we're going to focus on this right now. So for real or true conditions, these can be done in the present or future time or in the progressive form. So the present and future time are the active and passive voices, and the progressive forms can be in the present, present perfect, or past tense. And a lot of times these include words like can, may, would, should, could, might, or must. Okay, and then looking at the unreal, contrary to fact conditions, these can be done in the present, the past, or in mixed time conditionals. So in the present and the past, we have the active and passive voices. And in the mixed time conditionals, we can have a past condition, which is the adverb clause of condition in the past, with a present result. Or we can have progressive forms in either clause. So we'll take a look at that in a bit. First, let's look at some examples of real or true conditions. So remember, inference is the if-then situation. If I am your mother, then you are my daughter. Habitude. Habitude expresses the conditions and results that occur repeatedly. So if you study hard, you will get good grades. And if you notice, I put then in parentheses because a lot of times you don't need to include the then. And then we have future. Future expresses plans or probable events, things that are going to happen in the future. If you leave late, you will be late. Okay? And generic. Generic expresses those scientific truths. So if gas is heated, it expands. Unreal, contrary to fact conditions. Remember that these are imagined. The condition and the result are both imagined. So hypothetical, we'd have a situation like if my mother would let me, then I would stay out all night. This is hypothetical. And counterfactual. Counterfactual is the speculation about past events that didn't occur or impossible situations in the present. So if I were you, I wouldn't do that. Okay. So let's look at some examples using the different tenses and see if you can figure out if these are inference, habitude, future, or generic for the real true conditions. So present and future time, we have the active voice. So if you attend the play, you will see me perform. It's the active voice because we're using the present verb. And let's see, the passive, if water is boiled, it is turned into water vapor. Is boiled. Boiled is the past participle. So that's why that's the passive tense. So the first one, we know these are real conditions, but what kind of real conditions are they? Inference, habitude, future, or generic? The first one is future. It's something that happens in the future. It expresses plans or probable events. The second one is generic. It's a scientific truth. Okay, so we can look at the progressive forms next. So the first example in the present, if I am going to work tomorrow, then I shouldn't go out tonight. Okay. And the present perfect, if you have lived in Miami your whole life, then you should know the city well. Have lived is the present perfect. Past tense, if I were in Fullerton, then I would be with my friend Angie. Now, what kind of sentences are these? Inference, habitude, future, or generic conditions? The first one is inference. If I'm going to work tomorrow, I shouldn't go out tonight. We're inferring what happens. If you have lived in Miami your whole life, then you should know the city well. Again, another inference. And the last one, if I were in Fullerton, then I would be with my friend Angie. It's habitude. It's a condition or result that occurs repeatedly. Now looking at the unreal contrary to fact conditions, we have first the present, and in the active voice, if my mother would let me, I would stay out all night. This is unreal. It's something that is imagined. Then we have the passive voice. If we were seen, then we might be in trouble. Remember that in the passive voice, we use the past participle, seen. So, what kind of sentences are these? What kind of conditions? Are they hypothetical or counterfactual? The first one is hypothetical. If my mother would let me, I would stay out all night. It expresses a speculation about the present or the future. The second one is also hypothetical. If we were seen, we might be in trouble. Okay. Then looking at the past. We have the active voice in the past. If we had seen her, then we would have helped her. And the passive voice. If we had been there, that wouldn't have happened to you. Okay? So, let's see. What kind of sentences are these? Hypothetical or counterfactual? The first one is hypothetical. Second one is counterfactual. If we had been there, that wouldn't have happened to you. It expresses a speculation about the past event that didn't occur. Now, mixed time conditionals. We can have the adverb clause as the past condition with the present result. If I were you, I wouldn't do that. Or we can have the progressive form in either clause. If we wanted good grades, then we would be studying now. Studying makes it progressive. So, what kind of conditions are these? Hypothetical or counterfactual? The first one is counterfactual. If I were you, I wouldn't do that. The second one is hypothetical. Very good. So let's see if you can distinguish the difference between real and unreal conditional sentences. If you leave now, you'll be early. Is this real or unreal? And if you're getting really good at this, you can also determine if it's inference, habitude, future, or generic for real, something that can be fulfilled, or hypothetical or counterfactual for unreal conditions, which are where the condition and the result are both imagined. So what is this one? This is real, and it's the future. Very good. The second one, if I had seen you, I would have waved. Is this real or unreal? Is it something that can be fulfilled, or is it something imagined? It's unreal. Very good. And this is counterfactual. Let's look at the next one. If you are my daughter, then I am your mother. Is this real or unreal? Can it be fulfilled, or is it imagined? It is real. Very good. And it is inference. Let's see the next one. If I go to Huntington Beach, I usually stay at my grandmother's house. Is this real or unreal? It's real, and it's habitude. Very good. Now let's look at the last one. If I found a purse, then I would try to return it to its owner. Is this real or unreal? It's unreal, and it's hypothetical. Very good. So finally, now it's your turn to try it on your own. Try to make real conditional sentences using adverb clauses of condition. Remember that most of these sentences always start with the word if. It's kind of like if you just remember the if then. So we have real conditions, and what are real conditions? They are where the condition and the results can be fulfilled. Good job. And there are inference, which is the if then, habitude, expressing the conditions or results that occur repeatedly, the future, expressing plans or other probable events, and generic. Those are the scientific truths. And we have the unreal conditions. What are unreal conditions? This is when the condition and the result are both imagined. And there are two, hypothetical and counterfactual. Hypothetical, expressing the speculation about the present or the future, and counterfactual, the speculations about past events that did not occur or impossible situations in the present. I look forward to seeing your sentences. Go back and review this video if you need more support. Here are the references that I used to make this video for you. Thank you and have a great day.